Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. Today we have with us
Basudev Sengupta.
Basudev Sengupta. The first question, well, let me say, first of all, welcome and namaste to you.
Thank you.
The first question I always ask our interviewees is, how did you first hear of Mother and Sri Aurobindo?
Well, exactly, I don't remember when exactly, but it was somewhere in 1958 that I heard that my father and mother wants to visit Sri Aurobindo ashram at Pondicherry. And I was just a little boy.
How old, approximately?
I was at that time 6 years old.
6 years old.
Yes. And I was very curious what's Sri Aurobindo and the mother. And of course, I saw a photograph of Sri Aurobindo and the mother at that time before my father and mother came over here. And it was, we were very excited. We had a very large family consisting of 11 members, our 5 brothers and sisters, 2 uncles, father and mother, and grandfather and grandmother. So we have been asked by my father to take a group photo of we 5 brothers and sisters and my uncle and aunt, so that he can take that photograph to the ashram and show. So that was possibly the first photo possibly I remember in my life. And that was a wonderful photo. And the thing is, my mother especially was quite disturbed during that time, maybe because of so many reasons, because I'll just give a brief background.
Yes, please.
Because we hail from East Bengal, means now East Pakistan and Bangladesh. So we hail from that place which is known as Goila, the Barishal district. And Barishal district is a very famous place, and very learned people came from there. And it's a place where Ashwini Kumar Datta hails from. And you will come to know of Ashwini Kumar Datta in various speeches of Sri Aurobindo. He says that see how Ashwini Kumar Datta is working, and his revolutionary idea, his organizing capabilities and all these things. And you know that I heard from my mother that whenever people used to get up early in the morning, normally people have a habit of offering pranams to the sun. And there in Barishal district, people used to rise, when they get up and make a pranam, they used to make pranam in the name of Ashwini Kumar Datta. So that was his status, and many places Sri Aurobindo has referred to him. Yes, in speeches. I mean, if you see the speeches later on speeches, not the Uttarpara speech or the National Congress, in the National College. So later on, I think there are speeches in which he especially mentions about Ashwini Kumar. So just I like to mention. And my father and my parents and grandparents came much before partition. That means in the before 45, I think 44, 45, they came to Calcutta, and my father and my grandfather used to work over there in Calcutta, and they used to go off and on to the villages. So the thing is, and we have left anything or everything over there, and we had a large family, and so I mean, it's very common that we had to face a lot of hardships and all in our year.
Because of the partition?
Because of the partition, because we had to, my father and the grandfather had to leave or everything, land, whatever, everything, and settle in Calcutta. So it was tough, and the thing is that, and we were a large family, so mother has to do everything and all. And at the time, so when my father and mother returned from Pondicherry, I saw that that so much of happiness and everything was there in my mother, and she was talking about the mother and everything, how they saw the mother in the balcony and everything, and they even saw her playing in the
Tennis ground, yes.
Yes. So
Could I ask you, Vasudev, what prompted them to come to Pondicherry?
yes, that's a very interesting question, because see, my father used to work in Kashipur Gun and Shell. I mean, the unit which manufactures the arms and ammunition for the government. I mean, it's a government here. It is in Kashipur, so it is the gun and shell which is there also in Jabalpur, and Kashipur in Calcutta, the main unit. My cousin, my father's cousin brother, who is a bit elder than me, he used to work over there, and later on my father joined, maybe before 40s and all. And there, one gentleman, Satya Bose, possibly a very a devotee of the mother and Sri Aurobindo, and the whole Calcutta group. I mean, they are. I think you may be, or you must have heard of Himanshu Niyogi, who is Manoj Rajgupta's Choto Mama. Manoj, he was there in the group, and there are many people. So my father first heard from him and from Satya Bose, who was very much involved with the Patha Mandir and the Sri Aurobindo Bhavan, Calcutta, in organizing, right from 30s and 40s, I think. And I saw my father collecting newspaper cuttings, and he made a book and pasting the speeches and writings of Sri Aurobindo. So that made him, and initially in 1956, my father's cousin brother, he came and he asked them to come over, and then they made it in 1958. So that is the ashram connection, and all the old Calcutta peoples, like my father's was their friends, like Shobhadi's younger brother Rubuda was a very old friend of my father.
Ah.
Yes, so that is how he was very much involved with the Calcutta group and all. And later on, Ronjuda, Rajendra, if you know, they were very good friends of my father.
I know Rajendra very well, yes, of course.
So
when your mother and father returned to Calcutta, you said your mother
they came, I think, in April 1958. They came, and when they were leaving, then Nolinida asked my father, "When are you bringing your children?" So he said, "Let me see. It may be very soon." So in 1960, we came to Pondicherry along with my father and mother, and we stayed in Park Guest House, which used to be called Park Sharbo at that time. And then it was a wonderful, the very first day, so that we heard that there will be the balcony darshan every day. So we used to get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, then start walking down the road, the beach road, and slowly we used to gather by 6 o'clock. And then possibly the timing, I think, is about 6:15 or so. I don't exactly
No, it
remember.
was 6:15, yes.
Yes. And then there's so many ashramites gathering, and then after some time, so I heard that sound that everybody getting up somewhere, and some getting straightening up and all, and we could see the mother slowly coming and to the balcony and holding that railing. It was really a wonderful, and and every time she used to look each and everybody down from left to right, from to each, as if it was as if that she is looking at every one of us, and then slowly she used to turn her eyes beyond in the sea. I think it was, I cannot, because it seems to be a very long time, but maybe 7 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't.
And even for you, at so young a child, you felt something?
Yes, of course. It was like something, I mean, I cannot explain it. It's something, and nobody, I mean, we need to be told that she is the mother, she is the divine mother, she is the eternal mother. It came just spontaneous, as we saw. It's just something flowing down through the body. It's a wonderful sensation. And later on, many a times, of course, we came in 1964 February. We had two darshans, 21st February, 29th February. And then in 1967, we had that 4, 5, 6, 7, a very special darshan, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then in 1971, I came alone when I was studying in college in first year. So in 1964, we were there, and my birthday is on 7th March. So I thought of painting, making a small painting and sending it to the mother. So I painted a photograph, I painted an image of Goddess Durga, and then went to Nolinida and sent through Nolinida. I said, this is an offering to the mother. And we left after, I think, 29th of February, I think 1st or 2nd March.
You were allowed to go see mother, weren't you? On your birthday?
No, but I wasn't there at that time birthday. We left before that. After 29th of February, we left, I think, on 1st or 2nd of March. So since I...
So you gave the painting to Nolini?
Nolinida. And then before before my birthday, I got a very beautiful card from the mother. It's a very special card. Like on left-hand side is the mother's photo, of her, I think, normally there's a photo of Sri Aurobindo, the Sri Aurobindo in England with a bag here, and the mother's photo with her hair like this. So that photo she attached on the right side. She wrote, "To Basudev with blessings," and it's a wonderful presentation, because later on also we were, but not that sort of beautiful card.
You meet mother at all personally?
Yes, later on.
So we need to hear about that.
Yes. When we came in the first time, 1960 April, the first, we used to have the balcony darshan every day, but on 24th, being a special day, we happened to see the mother 4 times. First balcony, then we went to Sri Aurobindo's room, came round, and then mother was sitting there. We went in queue, and of course we stood. There were no pranams, just here, and then I think it is around 11 o'clock or something like, or sometime in the afternoon maybe, or yeah, that mother sat for I think for 10-15 minutes in behind the samadhi near, I think it is the Narada's room. She came there and sat for some time. And then finally in playground, and that day we were very, during that time Andreda was there and he was sitting with the mother, and Andreda's daughter also was sitting. So that's a very, we could see her in the playground. That's a wonderful memory. And then again, we came in 1967. That was a very special darshan because it was that number 4, 5, 6, 7, and the message also was very. That was a wonderful message of and then a symbol of the mother as well as Sri Aurobindo during the time, and a special a symbol, I think, of the mother and Sri Aurobindo combined, reading 4, 5, 6, 7.
And this was 1967, of course.
1967, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I want to go back just a little bit and ask you whether your father or mother had ever seen Sri Aurobindo.
No, my father was very much connected with, I mean, he had a connection with Sri Aurobindo in the sense that he was, because the Satya Bose and Himanshali, they used to come from, I think, 35, 36 and all. But father didn't have any opportunity to, But there is one beautiful thing my father got, and it's a wonder how it came. Maybe because of Satya Bose and all. My Sri Aurobindo, I don't know, the date was not there, but Sri Aurobindo presented a book to my mother, to my father, aphorisms, to Sachindra with blessings, Sri Aurobindo.
Oh.
And that's and no date was there, and also my mother received a sari from the mother, yes, and these are the two precious, I say, things of the master and the mother, the relics we have.
Yes.
And since after my father's death, I was in Calcutta at that time, and I used to work in Bhopal. So from 1977, and my mother came to Bhopal and stayed with me. So she brought all the things, the precious things which she with her. And she left her body in 2000 in Bhopal, only in my place. And I am the custodian of all those two precious things.
Now, when your parents came here with you, did they meet mother personally?
Yes, yes, many times my mother's birthday is on 23rd May. And my father's birthday is on 20th May. So they both used to visit the mother on 23rd May, on my mother's birthday. And it is that we came in intervals, but my father used to come every year. And mostly my mother also used to accompany during that time. And they used to have darshan of the mother on their birthdays. So they used to have a combined birthday meeting.
Beautiful.
Yes, that's a wonderful thing. And I tell you, of course, in between, I just want to tell you that in 2000, when on 14th of May, my mother had a stroke, and then this is in 2000, and she was taken to the hospital. She was there, and it happened that on 23rd May, I was the other day on 22nd May. I was just hoping for that the blessing should come. We normally send or ask for blessings before our birthdays, and that day when I went in the evening, I told my mother that the blessings has come. Tomorrow morning I will get it. So the next day, early morning, I went to the hospital, and then she was in the ICU, and then gave her the blessings. Evening, I went to buy some sweets, and I was before that, after buying the sweets, I went to the center, Bhopal center. I sat for a few minutes along with my brother, and then some uncanny sensations came, and then I drove very fast. And came back, and then all of a sudden I found that there were a lot of people gathering there, and they said you don't go inside. So I could see, but she was having some lot of, and the doctors were trying to pump, but she left on that day, on 23rd May, on her birthday.
And she was holding the blessings.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your life and work for Mother in Sri Aurobindo.
Yes. The one thing I did just want to hear that I had a great opportunity in the sense that none of my the other siblings, my elder brothers and sisters, they could study in a very good school in Calcutta, but so-called. But my father could, put me in a very good school in Calcutta, and in 1958 I got it. And then, I was coming in 1964. I was very much keen to come to the ashram, stay here, and I think in the end of 1964 or beginning 1965, I wrote to the mother for, I think through Nolinida, and later on that I want to get admitted, I want to study over here. Later on, of course, I received a postcard from the Kirit Bhai that you are admitted to the ashram school.
Oh, but by Kirit Bhai, Kirit.
Yes, Kirit Joshi, in 1965. But then again, of course, but there was some, I understand that there were being a large family and there are a lot of, and because my father had got a lot of problems, and later on he tried to do some business, the business didn't sustain us, and he had a hard time. So, and at that time, I had to stay in the hostel and all, and the certain things that I understand at this point of time, why even if getting the admission, because I couldn't make it here in the ashram school which I wanted, but maybe because one thing maybe that I was not prepared, but I don't, maybe that my father and mother were much more dearer to the mother, because I was supposed to be taking care of all, because this things afterwards I had to, in many years I had to take care of my family, including I had to sustain, I had to support my elder brothers also, because in Calcutta there were a lot of friends. My brother lost his job after marriage and so many things. So what I feel is that it may be something that mother, of course, didn't want to dissatisfy me also, and but looking into the practicality, maybe it is the best thing she has kept it for me, and I have accepted it that.
So where did you study and what was your line of work?
Then I studied, I passed out in 1970, and I got admitted in most of the engineering colleges. IIT was my first preference, so I got admitted in IIT Kharagpur as a mechanical engineer. And then I did my MTech in Industrial Engineering and Operations Research in 1977, and then I got in Bharat Heavy Electricals, which manufactures power plant equipments in India. It's a public sector undertaking, manufacturing all power plant equipment throughout the country. It's a giant organization with a mother unit at Bhopal, and we had so many places in Hardwar, Hyderabad, Trichinopalli, making boilers at Trichy, turbines at Hardwar, Bhopal also, transformers, and everything what is required in a power plant. So I worked there. I had been there for till 2007, and then I thought of changing to a private organization. Of course, nobody, but suddenly on one night, at 2 o'clock, I could feel that I must leave, because there's so many things I was not satisfied with the situation and all. And within 2 months, I left, and there was a big blow to my colleagues and the people. Anyway, then again I too had a hard time moving to a public sector, to a private company. I was there in Jharsuguda in a super thermal power station, looking after quality aspects. It is a Chinese people who are doing. So I was there. And then again I came back to Bhopal. They wanted some to a new office. And then again after 4 years I left. I took to teaching in engineering colleges at Bhopal. And till 2017 September I worked. After that I more or less
And you're living here permanently now?
No, I am at Bhopal only.
You're only at Bhopal?
Yes, I keep coming. And just one thing I want to tell, that I mean, in 1960 when I came, I met Maurice. He was the Maurice Shukla. And you must be knowing Maurice Shukla.
Very well.
Yes, very well. Yes. So his father was working in Lafouchère Garden. And he was just a 5-year-old boy, and he used to play in the beach and all. And I was the more or less same age, I was a little bit elder than him. So we became very good friends. And till that time, every time I came, Maurice used to be there with me.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yes. And at one time it happened that Maurice was, because my father used to come every year, so he was more of my father's friend. Yeah. And he used to get along with everybody equally, and such a jovial character. So, and we have been.
I ask you, what people in the ashram have you been close to or appreciated very much?
Yes. We were first of all very close to, Ronjuda, Rajenda, Nomita Sarkar, and their family we are very close. Then Jugalda, Jugal Kishore Mukherjee, yes, Jugaldar's mother. My mother used to stay with Jugaldar's mother whenever she used to come alone. And when I came in 1971, then Nomita, the cousin brother Shudhangshu Roy, he told my father, Basu is coming. He wrote to me, so I want Basu to stay in our house. So I stayed near about 3 weeks in their house, Nomita's house. Of course, she went to France at that time. She was not there, but whenever I used to come later, and then I used to stay there a house, and I used to come alone. And in 1979-80, I was posted in Chennai for a year. I was doing a course, a company-sponsored course in statistical quality and control, and I was staying in Chennai. And every fortnight I used to come and stay in Namitadi's house. So and Namitadi's, and you know that at night, no, in the rear, then Namitadi's father, the time we used to sleep side by side in a cot, and he used to tell me so many stories and all of the olden days about his guru, the Brahmachari Baba, and all his.
Now, you mentioned Nolini. You must have known him.
Nolinida, yes, we used to go. I mean, Ranyuda used to take, and my father. And I remember once, I think it did in 1964. Every time my father used to order the close people, they used to call them in a dinner, mostly in Ganpat, I mean in cottage.
Ganpatram.
Ganpatram. So once I remember, possibly in 1964, my father invited Nolinida and Amritoda both, because
To Ganpatram?
had to go, and Nolinida accepted.
Oh my God.
And so such a beautiful thing, no? I mean, we were watching Nolinida and Amritoda taking, it's just such a beautiful thing to watch Nolinida. Well, it's really a wonderful thing. It's
What about Champaklal?
Champaklal, no, I've never, but once I, not personally we have seen him, but once in 1971 when I came alone, so mother was very sick at that time. So normally the visitors were not being allowed, but I got a permission through Nolinida. Rajan, the initiator, and Nolinida took to the mother, and on 6th of June, I got the permission to visit the mother in groups. So as I was approaching, I could hear the Champaklal saying, "Don't touch her feet, don't touch her," telling. And slowly I entered mother's room, and there I mean, that's the time I saw Champaklalji for, of course, otherwise also, but not. And then I went to the mother, just knelt down, then looked in her eyes, and so after a few, I think it was half a minute or so, I don't remember. And then I could not simply close my eyes. And then something struck at me, and Champaklalji was telling, "Don't touch her feet." And I thought, I've come, and after so many, I have come so close to the mother, and so I will not able to touch her feet. So how is it possible? I mean, that is possibly I have come to the Eternal Mother for the first time and so close. So then something occurred to me. So then I just lowered my head and just touched her knee. I didn't touch her feet, and with my head I touched her knee, and then slowly I could feel her hand on my head. That's a wonderful thing which she blessed me. Just when I raised my hand, she gave a smile. And it is there with me. I can vividly remember everything, that great moment.
Did you know Dayabai? Dayabai, Parker Shabon.
Oh, very much. The Dayabai and father were very good friends, and very good friends. Yes, and we such a.
And Dumanbai?
Duman Bhai, we have seen, but not, yes. Others are, Jugal Kishore's once in 1964 we came. Jugalda was staying in that house where Sri Aurobindo came for the first time. and now somebody is looking after that house. So there he gave a read out something from Sri Aurobindo, and he showed us that there's some in his in that room, no, there is some opening and all, and from the top there can be foods can be.
I was in that house.
So you must have seen.
And I've seen the little trap door where they would send the food up to him.
Yes. So Yugoslav was staying at that. For a long time, I think he stayed over there. Yes, so we went to Yugoslav. And Fonida was also very close to us. Fonida, Foni Gupta or Foni Rai, I think Foni Rai. He used to work in the press. But he was very much, he used to come to the playground and work in the press.
Did you know Udar or Mona?
No, not. We have seen, but not really well. Yes.
Good. And you mentioned Amrita. You mentioned Amrita. Amrita and Nolini, you said?
Or Amritsada.
Yes.
Amrita.
Yeah.
Amritsada and Nolini. Yes, we went to him also. We used to go to him also. Amritsada. Yes. Because Nolini and Amritsada were very good friends. They used to.
Can you tell me anything about any experiences in Auroville?
Yes, the Auroville experience. Yes, we have been to. Whenever I used to come, go to Auroville, and then.
Did you go to the chamber?
Yes, I think 2 or 3 times I went to the chamber. Initially, it was just to go and all, and twice I could meditate. That 15 minutes. I don't remember the timing exactly. It may be 10 or 15 minutes. But at the other times we were being just taken, and that was at the time visitors were not allowed to meditate, I think. But later on, I remember twice I meditated.
What was your feeling of the atmosphere in Auroville versus the ashram, let us say?
Auroville, strictly speaking, I have not been to. I just went for a visit, and it was hardly 2-3. But I happened to come with Maurice. He took me a number of times. He took me to places, and we met some. He knew a lot of people, so he used to take us, and. It was long back. But this time I stayed in Auroville for a week. I came on 9th and then went to Auroville on 10th and then stayed there till 17th. I just wanted to explore something, and especially I went around in a cycle in the Auroville in the early mornings, and then rode on 14-15 kilometers, and so that I can come to know the roads and everything. And I went to 2 schools, that future school and the after schools. So I just tried to explore certain things with them.
I think my daughter was in charge of future school at that time. My daughter's name is Shali.
Acha.
She was
So when
she built this school.
Oh.
Yes.
Is she still there in?
She's in the working committee now.
Acha. Any school she's attached? Future school?
Not anymore, no, just the working committee. She's been in Auroville about 40 years.
Ooh, 40 years. I met this time Rolf in future school.
Yes, Ralph took over for Shali.
Rolf took over for Shali, yes. Because I was just trying to inquire if there is, because whether I can get some associated with it, because I also teach mathematics as well as it, but more it was my hobby in earlier days, and now I am trying to again do something. So I went and met Rolf, and also in after school. I don't remember his name.
Could you, if you wish, could you tell me of any of your experiences with Mother or Sri Aurobindo?
The experiences, I happened to, in the sense that see Mother one, I think twice. It was very, that it was like I could feel that her image, and then another time I could see her something that she was, I don't remember in which building, but she was coming out, and then with somebody talking like this and all. I could, but a few months back, it's wonderful. I had as if though I vision that Sri Aurobindo is lying on his bed. I'm in that position when that he's completely lying on the bed, and then he was asked for a glass of water, and somebody gave him. He just got up, had a glass of water, and then again he just lied down. That's all. And I could say that this is the thing I could see in my dreams.
Beautiful, very beautiful.
And I was wondering for a long time that possibly I will never be able to see Sri Aurobindo. Of course, I saw the Mother for a few times, but that also has been here. And it was just a few months back that
It happened, huh?
that it happened.
Beautiful. Thank you, Vasudev.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very beautiful interview. Namaste all, and thank you.
Namaste.